How's it going, Giants fans? My name is Alex with my co-host here, Anthony Rivardo. Today's Giants practice was rather light, kind of a walkthrough type of situation, simulating a Friday practice before game day or game weekend, obviously. So Thursday, we have our first preseason game kind of ramping up here. They're trying to do some load management, make sure everybody's healthy. Kadarius Toney did not practice fully today. They were doing some work on his right leg. So, I'm not going to say that's concerning at all. He has had some load management days, about 4 practices he's had where they've kind of pulled him a little bit early to make sure that he is 100% healthy and doing well. And I think that's the right way to operate with Kadarius Toney, who obviously has the capabilities to be one of the best receivers on this team, if not in the league, with his agility, mobility, and the stop on a dime type of quickness. So, making sure his knees, ankles are all good to go is definitely a part of making sure he's 100% healthy and ready to go for the regular season. But yeah, like that's kind of the major stuff here. Evan Neal has changed his number from 73 to 70. So hopefully none of you, or rather from 70 to 73. So hopefully none of you guys bought his jersey prematurely, because I know that would be kind of annoying. I got Kayvon Thibodeau number 5. So that kind of is situated, but that would definitely suck. But, today's practice rather light. I do want to react to that huge run from Saquon Barkley that he trucked Aaron Robinson yesterday, started that big fight between John Feliciano and Cam Brown, the two sides going at it. But I thought that, that run was awesome. He showed just unbelievable power, Anthony. I'm excited to discuss and take a look at that video and react to it. But how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great. It was a light day of Giants practice, as you mentioned, as we're just gearing up for the first preseason game of the year in only a couple of days here, and I can't wait for that. Now, of course, the Giants released their first unofficial depth chart, which is super important. We're going to see who's starting in this game, who's playing backups at which positions. All that stuff is super important, but keep in mind it is only the first depth chart, so it's subject to change, and a lot of those changes will start to begin after this preseason game. That's going to determine who's playing where on this depth chart. But one of the names that I'm really keeping a close eye on in this preseason game is Daniel Bellinger. I love the fact that they listed him as a starting tight end, rookie, 4th-round pick. I love what he brings to the table, and I think that he's going to be a really impactful player for the Giants, especially now that he's healthy. But of course, like I said, light day of practice. It's good that they're not trying to work Darius Toney too hard. I think that, Darius Slayton and Richie James is another battle that I'm keeping a close eye on in the preseason. And that's something that, Giants Insider had something to say about Darius Slayton today and his ability to get behind the defense. So make sure to keep an eye on Darius Slayton and Richie James as we get into the preseason
Especially as
game.
he's topping off defenses, right?
I'm going to put the tweet in the video for you guys. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen by Giants Insider. Huge, major pause. You guys will get a kick out of it. But of course, I do want to discuss that Saquon Barkley run, because there's actually a lot to really talk about with that play, because it shows the physicality that he's playing with this year that we haven't seen from Saquon Barkley, I feel like, since he was a rookie. And I also do want to highlight the fact that Aaron Robinson sounds like he had it coming to him. Not to be that guy, but he's gotten into a couple of questionable situations during practice this summer in terms of tackling people without pads on. So I think he might have had that one coming to him, but it's going to be interesting to see how everything ramps up into this preseason game in a couple of days. So I'm excited to get to it.
Absolutely, man. I mean, look, the unofficial depth chart had a couple of interesting names, slotted into positions. Otherwise, it was pretty accurate. I think that, that'll probably be what the, starting teams kind of shake out to be. But I thought it was interesting how they listed the receivers. They had Richie James and Darius Slayton kind of tied for that wide receiver 4 and 5 spot. Then, of course, they had Colin Johnson like wide receiver 7, David Sills at wide receiver 6, and CJ Board also at 6. It's going to be interesting to see how they kind of shake out that position battle moving forward. Personally, I think that Darius Slayton not having the special teams usage is kind of going to hurt his stock a little bit, especially because he's getting paid over $2 million this year. And Richie James can serve as a special teams player. CJ Board, we know, is a really good gunner. These are players that can actually be used on special teams and make their money in other ways. Darius Slayton is basically just your speedster. Like, he's not a great router around here. He's fast. He can blow the top off of a defense. And at this point, I just kind of get the sense that maybe he might be the odd man out in this situation, but I don't really know. I think that it's going to take the next couple of weeks to kind of figure that out and let it unfold. But if he can have a good preseason, if he can show some good stuff there, I think that, he could end up becoming a pretty solid player this upcoming year, especially because he has the chemistry with Daniel Jones over the first 3 seasons of his career. He's the only guy that really has shown that chemistry with him up to this point. So I get that variable that plays a part as well, but the special teams usage definitely does play a variable and a factor for me specifically. So I'm interested to see how that kind of shakes out. But you know what? let's take a look at this Saquon Barkley run because, as you said, Aaron Robinson might have had this coming, but this to me display that Saquon is back. He looks thinner, he looks skinnier. His agility, his burst, his speed all look back. He looks like he's trusting that leg again. Let's dive into it here and give our reaction to it. I mean, look how the explosiveness up the gap. I mean, that's a hell of a hit. You love to see this from Saquon. It's been such a long time since we've seen this type of agility. I mean, look at he turns this corner and he doesn't jump cut. Like sometimes we would see him like kind of hesitate right here, not know what to do, and then kind of jump cut and try to get through that and get stopped and give guys like Leonard Williams right there an opportunity to stop him. But look how decisive he is. I mean, we haven't seen this. Like he sees that gap and he's like, I'm gone. I'm through that. And boom, he's off and he just destroys Aaron Robinson in the process. I think Aaron Robinson kind of just got in his way mistakenly. And he was like, all right, you want to do that? Then I'm going to absolutely crush you. So this was absolutely awesome to see from Saquon. That power, we've been waiting to see him lower his shoulder like this and show that power for years. You know what I mean? Like it's been quite a while. And we've always asked, like, you know what, when you can just lower that shoulder, grind out the extra yards. Aaron Robinson bounces off this man like a child. So really nice to see there. What are your thoughts about this play?
I think it's a nice face mask penalty right there by Julian Love. I don't know if you caught that, but also I think the power from Saquon Barkley on this play is amazing. And you kind of hit it on the head there when you're talking about when he's in that gap and he decides to go downfield. He just goes straight like a freight train, just runs into somebody. A lot of the times we'll see Saquon Barkley get into that hole, see people in front of him, kind of get a little bit afraid of contact almost, it feels like sometimes with Saquon. He'll just bounce it to the outside. He'll start running horizontally, get to the sideline, try and work his way up. And then, you've got an extra defender on you. The boundary is a defender. That's going to take you out of the play. If you step on that white line, you are out of bounds. Play is dead. But here, you can pound into somebody and you can go for a couple extra yards upfield there. So I think, just seeing him be decisive in that regard and actually just get contact, get physical, be that powerful guy. I mean, Saquon Barkley has the largest legs out of any human being that I've ever seen on a football field. So that he's got the power to do this. He's got the ability to run over people, but he never does it. He chooses not to. Instead, he chooses to be scat back almost, just be like really elusive, be like a Darren Sproles type, juke around people. But I think Saquon Barkley's always had this ability to be this physical, bruising running back, but he just doesn't use that ability. And I think it's exciting now to see him start to use that ability, even though it is in practice against Aaron Robinson. But like I said, Aaron Robinson had it coming to him since he has been starting a couple of little problems throughout camp, in terms of tackling people without pads on. But I'm actually going to pull this play up one more time because I have another thing to take away from it. And so I want to go ahead and show you here what happened. So I want to go ahead. All right, take a look at this play at the beginning here. Look at the run blocking from our rookie offensive tackle. This is what I really like. Number 70, Evan Neal, has the defender completely turned to the side here. Do you see how sealed off that defender was? That's what sprung this run, and that's the major impact that I'm taking away from this play. The highlight of the play is Saquon Barkley running over Aaron Robinson. But for me, the real highlight here is how Evan Neal completely turned Leonard Williams to the side. That's the main difference maker for this upcoming season for Saquon Barkley. We want to see Saquon Barkley have great plays. We want to see him run people over, juke people out of his shoes, go for over 1,000, for 1,500 rushing yards at that point, go for 2,000 yards from scrimmage. The way he's going to do that is with good blocking in front of him that he's never had before. And now he's got that with Evan Neal, who's been unbelievably impressive as a run blocker all throughout training camp. He's had his fair share of struggles during pass protection, but he's a rookie. He'll figure it out. But right here, see how he's got that hole completely sealed off, and Leonard Williams can't get involved in this play here. Saquon Barkley just has to go through the hole that Evan Neal opened up for him, and it's daylight. And that's what he does. And that's a huge difference maker because oftentimes we saw Saquon Barkley, his highlights, a lot of them occurred in the backfield when there's a free rusher or a free, run defender who gets into the backfield and Saquon Barkley has to make 5 people miss just to gain 3 yards. We've seen that so many times with Saquon, but now the hope is we don't have to see that anymore because we have a phenomenal young run blocker in Evan Neal that can turn a defender, seal off a hole, and give Saquon Barkley a lane to get upfield and make people miss downfield and turn small runs into big runs rather than turning no gains into small gains. I think that's a huge difference maker. That's one of my main takeaways from this play. The highlight, like I said, is Saquon Barkley absolutely demolishing Aaron Robinson. But you take a closer look at the play, you're going to see Evan Neal is the reason that this play happened. Already seeing this impact from this young rookie offensive tackle, and it's so exciting to see.
Yeah, and this is a core, like if you actually look at how this play kind of breaks down, like you said, Evan Neal, does a good job sealing this on the back end. But if Saquon Barkley isn't decisive right here, Leonard Williams catches him. You know what I mean? Like in the past, we may have seen Saquon not burst through this hole like without hesitation. Sometimes he bounces around and doesn't see it right away, but he looks really decisive here. He knows where he's going. He commits. And I think you get the sense that like the Giants are telling Saquon, we have the guys that are going to open these gaps up for you. Hit these holes hard and go full speed. And you're going to find that you're going to have a lot of space. If he doesn't hit this, Leonard Williams, 1 extra second here, he's wrapped up. This is stopped at the line of scrimmage. But because Saquon is very decisive, bam, he's gone. And he gets to destroy Aaron Robinson in the process and take his soul. So really good stuff there. It's this is what you wanted to see from Saquon. We've been waiting for quite some time to finally kind of get a good look at him fully healthy again. Like it's been a while since we've seen him with that type of spring in his step, that type of power, the willingness to kind of put, his shoulder down. So, this is good stuff, man. I'm really excited to see that. But today, training camp was more of just like a walkthrough scout team type of situation. They're taking it easy, had some tough practices the last couple of days. Some guys go down to injury. And I think that being a little bit more cautious is a good thing for this Giants team. Right now, and making sure that you don't put any of your guys at risk, especially because it's like 100 degrees and humid as hell outside today. Don't get these guys in a situation where they're going to get dehydrated before Thursday's game. Take it easy. Make sure that they're healthy, hydrated, ready to go. Do some weightlifting inside and, go walk into the sunset healthy in a team that's ready to compete right now in a couple days here. So I'm excited about that, guys. But we'll love your thoughts below in the comment section about Saquon Barkley, that insane run, the hit. Aaron Robinson definitely is going to work on his technique, but I don't think he necessarily was trying to tackle him. I think he just got in the way, and Saquon said, "Get the hell out of my way." So you love to see it, but I'm excited to see what this team has planned for us in the next couple of days, especially on Thursday. See what the snap counts look like for some of these starters, and who's going to get some action, who's not going to get some action. So it's going to be interesting, my friends. Love to hear your perspectives below, as always, in the comment section. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Giants episode.